Hey everyone, good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Anastasia again from Ageless Knowledge and Chakra Reader, and we're going to talk about the Sacral Chakra today, which it's a personal favorite of mine. I use a lot of Sacral Chakra energy, so we're going to get into that in a minute. I want to say thanks for tuning in again. I hope you liked my last show. I hope they each get better with each time I do them. I'm not like really proficient in doing this, so it's a learning experience. So like I said, I hope it gets better with each time. So we're going to talk about the Sacral Chakra today, which is our second chakra. And the color for the Sacral Chakra is orange. And again, a spinning wheel, and it is connected into the root chakra, as we talked about last time. Each one of these chakras are connected into the other one. So all of the chakras are connected. So our Sacral Chakra is connected into our root chakra, is connected into our solar plexus, which we'll do next. But we're going to focus in on the Sacral Chakra, as I said. So it's orange in color. It develops between ages 1 and 8. Physically, it's responsible for our kidneys, our reproductive organs as women, that kind of thing. Anything that's in that area of the body. It's 2 fingertips below your belly button. So it's pretty easy to find. It's pretty easy to put our hands on. All of those things are also to do with sexual energy, and especially for women. I'm not saying specifically not for men, but I'm saying more specifically for women, because it has to do with our reproductive organs, which sit in that area, where men's more or less sit in the root chakra. The testicles sit in the root chakra energy. Women's reproductive organs sit more in the Sacral Chakra. So it's got a lot of power for women. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at this. Like I said, it develops between ages, probably like the root chakra finishes developing around age, I think it's around age 8. And then we kind of have the crossover kind of going on. So then we have sort of like the Sacral Chakra starting at about age 8 and actually kind of finishing around age 14, 15, just depending. It's not like an exact science. Much like puberty, it happens when it happens for each person. But these are sort of like the general ages that it happens. Now, the Sacral Chakra is all about passion and creativity and healing and all of those kind of good things. And it's our feeling center. If you had to sum up the Sacral Chakra with like a sentence, the root chakra would have been, I have what I have, like we talked about, with the food and shelter and that kind of thing, your basic needs in life, developing very early in life. The Sacral Chakra is more about like I feel like a coffee today, or I feel like doing this, or I don't feel like doing that. It's all about sort of our feelings. So, when we talk about balancing the Sacral Chakra, as expected, one of the biggest things that will balance it is water. Water, if you're into the metaphysics at all, is very symbolic of emotions. So when we talk about balancing the Sacral Chakra, as we talked about the root chakra being really good to be balanced with the earth and the grounding and the rooting in, the Sacral Chakra is really well balanced with water. So whether this is like taking a hot bath, lighting some candles, going for a swim, being on or near the ocean, just the sound of running water, that's all very well balanced with the Sacral Chakra. Now, we'll get into a little bit of the notes later on, but each of the chakras also respond to sound vibration, because again, everything is energy, and sound is one of the biggest and basic energies. Everything is a sound vibration. So what I find, being Sacral Chakra oriented, is most of you people that use a lot of it, we all draw on one more than another, and this is a chakra I really draw a lot on, is music. Music is huge for people that use their Sacral Chakra a lot. You can almost kind of spot them, because they're the ones that like the music loud, they're the ones that like to dance around the house, they're the ones that like that sort of lower beat energy with a really good boom, boom, boom to it. Not saying that anyone else doesn't like music, it's very pronounced in Sacral Chakra people that we are drawn to that creativity and that outlet in the music arena. It is something that is really, really prominent with us. So, again, stands to reason that you're going to be easy to pick them out, because they're going to be the ones with the headphones on and the music blaring in the car and the dancing around the house and all of that. But it actually really helps to balance that part of our body as well, because typically when we have that movement, and again, 2 inches below the navel, so it sits in our hips. So when we dance and we move, it really helps to balance it, in the sense that you're moving your hips, you're moving that chakra, you're kind of clearing it and you're balancing it. Now the sacral chakra, to people that are just looking at a person that uses a lot of orange energy or a lot of sacral chakra energy, as we say, they look like they're really happy, that they're always joyous, and they have so much energy, and they have this passion and this creativity for life. And all of that is true. But what typically in all the chakras has a back, has a front. So the other side of the sacral chakra energy is that it's a very sensitive energy. Very deep feeling people get, probably, I would say, I won't say they get their feelings hurt easily, but when they hurt, it's very deep. So what you think with a sacral chakra person, oh, I can say anything to them, it never fizzes on them. It does. It's just they don't typically tend to show it. They keep that bubbly personality to the top, and they kind of hide all that sort of energy in the sacral chakra. It's also sort of like the sacral chakra also seems to be a depository, or at least when I look at it, for a lot of old wounds and hurt feelings. When we carry old wounds from our childhood, from growing up, from things that have happened to us, we do carry them in our heart. I'm not saying we don't. We can have a broken heart, but we can also carry a lot of feelings in the sacral chakra, especially feelings of being alone or not feeling accepted. Again, that tying back into the root chakra, when we don't feel like we belong or are part of a tribe, we kind of carry that with us. Now, if we've been hurt in conjunction with that, now maybe that might be something as simple as being bullied on the playground as a kid, or it can be something more complex, like maybe being abandoned. Abandonment issues are really, really strong issues, and a lot of times they are kept in the sacral chakra area. The thing with that is, and we start getting manifesting, we know what's wrong in our emotion goes into our physical, so a lot of times it'll manifest, and it'll manifest, especially for women. It can be difficult periods, problems with menstruation. A lot of people have problems getting pregnant. All of those things, can be manifested in the sacral chakra area from deeper emotional issues that we've carried forward, or maybe not so deep emotional issues, but we just never dealt with it or released it or let it go. And it all gets carried in that sacral chakra area. And then it can translate into lower back problems. When we have like a problem in our lower back, we want to look at the sacral chakra area as well as the root chakra, because the root chakra has to do with bones and feeling supported in life, but it is really carried in the sacral chakra area. Another thing about sacral chakra people is they tend to be natural healers. They tend to be drawn to healing industries. A lot of nurses, a lot of doctors, anything in the healing arts on the metaphysical level, a lot of sacral chakra energy going on there, because they have a strong desire to help, to want to heal. It's just like an innate nature from the sacral chakra area. Now, that's not to say that everybody doesn't have all of the chakras, because we do. It's just that we typically draw on a few of them, each of us. Each of us draw on a few chakras specifically. And I don't draw on root chakra energy. I need more root chakra energy. I really work at being grounded so I don't get my head in the clouds. Sacral chakra energy is one of the energies I draw a lot on. We appreciate the beauty in life. We love feeling beautiful. We love anything that makes us feel beautiful. So our environment, anything like that, that is something that we would be focused on, because that would be something that we want to feel. We want to look at the beauty in nature. We can see the beauty in anything. You take a sacral chakra person, they can look at like a pile of manure, right? And everybody's like seeing this pile of manure. And the sacral chakra person will be like, oh, look, there's a dandelion on top. Look, it's growing flowers. Isn't that amazing? Because we're gonna focus in on that beauty part of life as opposed to the pile of manure. Now, that's not to say, like I said, we're very emotional people and very empathetic and very healing. All of that kind of comes in the sacral chakra. And so we're going to move through the world in that capacity as well. So that's sort of, I guess I want to say, some of the areas. Things that we need to watch out for: kidneys. Kidneys sit in the sacral chakra. Every chakra has its pluses and its minuses, okay? Whether we're either drawing on a positive of that chakra or a negative. And we have the ability to do both. It's whether or not we're balanced. So we want to stay balanced, and we want to continue to balance our chakras within themselves. And then, of course, we are a unit, right? And they run up and down our spinal column, and they give and receive energy all the time, okay? And sacral chakra people, like I said, are really empathetic. So one of the things we really need to watch out for is picking up on other people's energy and taking that on ourselves. especially when we feel really empathetic towards someone. So someone with sacral chakra might, be helping someone that's really hurt or something, and we can take that energy on, we can bring that energy home, and we need to actually kind of release it. Again, water, great release. Get in the tub. It's kind of like when they say, let all your troubles go down the drain. It's really true. It's a really great way to also balance the sacral chakra. So I'm going to move on from here just to some questions and then see where it takes us. So I've got a few really good questions specifically on the sacral chakra. One of the first ones I want to answer was on essential oils from Barbara. She wanted to know if there was like a specific oil that was really good just for the sacral chakra. So like if you're taking a bath or whatever and you want to use just an oil in aromatherapy to just balance this one chakra. Now, when you're using aromatherapy, you've got to watch whether your chakra is too open or too closed or any of those things, and if you're trying to activate it or calm it down. And I will say this, like for women, when we have like our period every month or menstruation or menopause or anything, there's different points. Of course, when we're getting our period and whatnot, our sacral chakra, or the way I see it, it flares up in us, and we've got this excess of sacral chakra energy and emotional energy, and anyone that lives with a woman that's premenstrual, I hate to say it, will notice this, and some of it is worse than others, and we even notice it ourselves. We don't like to be told it, but we notice it. So you don't really want to activate the energy at that point in time. You kind of want to calm it down. And much like on a color wheel, there's opposite energy to the sacral chakra, and what's really good at calming the sacral chakra down is throat chakra energy, which we'll get into later, but it's kind of like opposite on the color wheel. And throat chakra is a very cool, logical energy, kind of the opposite of emotion. So it's a really great energy. So if you're trying to kind of calm down a lot of emotion, I would be using throat chakra energy. So I'd be looking for something in that area. But if you're looking just for a specific oil on the sacral chakra energy, then some of the great ones are rose, jasmine, sandalwood, patchouli, lang lang. I know I say that wrong all the time, but of course my favorite is jasmine. It's a little expensive, but it's really nice, and rose and jasmine go wonderful together. Patchouli has got a really strong scent if you've ever smelled it, but some people love it. So kind of gear it. I would see an aromatherapist and I would say, okay, like what feels good to me? The biggest thing with the chakras is you've got to individualize it, because it depends on how much and to what degree you're trying to either calm it down or activate it. So you want to see an aromatherapist, but there is an essential oil for every chakra and just about everything. It is an amazing science. So I would try, if I were you, I'd see if I can get my hands on some jasmine and some rose. Mix them up, maybe one at a time, try them in a bath, put them in a carrier oil, put them on your skin. It's a really great way to kind of help balance that sacral chakra energy. Okay, so my next question, and again, I gotta use the papers because I'll never remember the questions or who they're from. Okay, is balancing. Is there a difference between men and women in this chakra, and how do they balance it each? And I believe this is from Debbie. So what I want to say is this, there's always a difference between men and women, okay? And each of our chakras activate differently. Now, in general, you can say orange people are like bubbly and all that stuff, and for men, of course, the reproductive organs aren't there, but it is a very sensual, passionate energy, and, men can be sensual and passionate as much as women can be. So that's equal. I find, like in my experience, there's probably been more women that I see using sacral chakra energy because more women are attuned into how I feel. There's not a lot of times you hear a lot of men saying, well, I feel this, and they go to work, and I feel that. And it's not typical, but there is that side to them, and they can definitely activate it more. And a man that is using his passion, and I'm not just talking about like in the romance arena, but a man that's just like absolutely following his passion is a leader, is someone you want to follow. When someone's got that like passion and that fire, you're going, yes, like follow it. So the men can use it. Do we use it differently? A little bit, because when women get passionate, we get passionate about more the feeling center, but men use passion in a different form. It's really the same energy, but of course it's expressed through either male or female, so that you will see a slight difference in it. Sacral chakra people are very playful. Like sometimes you'll almost think that they're childlike, but they're really not. They have this such a great inner child, and they want to bring that out. And at the same time, sacral chakra people, again, being empathetic, you mightn't see it in them, but they feel very responsible for those around them, and they really try and take care of them, and they have that sense of responsibility. It's expressed in such a fun and loving way. You think, How's that responsibility? But it very well can be. So men and women do use that energy slightly differently, only because we're men and women. Just the way we express everything differently. And women, of course, in our reproductive organs have that, I guess I want to say extra sort of boost once a month in the sacral chakra, where men don't get that. But, we do both use it. I would say, in my experience, women typically use it more than men. But it's not exclusive to women, and it's not exclusive to men. Just like the root chakra is not exclusive to men. We both use it, and we have all of them, and every human being uses sacral chakra energy. When we talk about someone who is typically a sacral chakra person, like I said, I think there's more women than men, but the men that are, they're very charismatic, and they're fun, and you just want to be around them because they are just so much fun, and they have that sensitive side, and so that makes it really special. Because I think any man, this is an opinion, okay, but any man that can kind of show their passion, their sensitive side to the world and express that's beautiful. That's just beautiful. That goes right back to the heart energy and living authentically, and we'll get into that later, and I just happen to think that's absolutely beautiful. So that's kind of like the differences there. The next question I have is, someone had asked me, because I had said that it kind of develops, in that early teenage stage, what can they do to help balance like their teenagers? And if you have any teenagers, or if you don't, it's just a really good question. But that's a really fun time, and definitely, if you've been around any teenagers, definitely their sacral chakra is coming up more, because this is the time they're working on it and developing it. Balancing it, I would talk to them, and I would say, like, how do they feel? I would find out how they feel, just like, any parenting. I would find out how they feel about it and find something that works for them. Typically music, but when we talk music, you want to get the right note and the right beat and that type of thing. So music is a great way for teenagers to balance their sacral chakra energy, but it's got to be feel-good music, okay? Like, and we all know that teenagers usually pick maybe not so always good feel-good music, but there's always a way to kind of find that in. And again, water. We balance a teenager the same way we balance an adult. It would just be more tailored to them, and it would need to really be something that they're comfortable with, because when this chakra is developing, it's like with the root chakra, it can really throw you off kilter at first until you kind of find your place in the world. And teenagers are just like us. I would balance it in the identical way that I would, balance our chakras. Okay. So my other question I have here is from someone named Cam, wanting to know, if you're just starting hearing about the chakras, how do you start learning, and where do you start, and what do you start with? That's a really good question. It's different for everyone, but I would start with, simply, I would Google it, or search it on YouTube. There's a lot of information. This is information out there. I would start with the basics. I wouldn't try and go too heavily into everything about them, what they are, when they're developed. I would just kind of go in lightly. Okay, our root chakra is for our blood and our bones. Our sacral chakra is, more like of our reproductive organs and our emotions. We need to feel grounded. I would start really lightly, and I'd also really start with, I would have someone read you and find out what chakras you use, which ones you're more prone to, maybe where you need some more balance. And I would start there. I would start really on self. That would probably be, I guess I want to say, the best place to start, because when we learn it from our self perspective, not only are we more apt to remember it, we're more apt to have that set in and resonate with us. So that would be, the biggest thing, is I would learn it from the point of self. Now, you're going to be drawn to one thing or another thing, okay? So if we look at this, some people are really drawn to yoga. Some people are really drawn to meditation. Some people are really drawn to rocks and crystals for balancing. And some people are really drawn to just the basic natural way, like the earth and then the water and so on and so forth. So it just depends on what you're drawn to. And I'm a really firm believer in going with what you're drawn to, as opposed to, okay, well, this worked for this one, this worked for that one. Figure out what works for you and listen to that sort of inner voice. And it's like, okay, well, I always was fascinated with crystals, or I was always fascinated with, aromatherapy, or Reiki really, really fascinates me. Any avenue of healing that works on the chakras, sound therapy, light therapy, they're all really, really amazing. but it's individualized. And I'm going to try on here to tell you about different things I know that I've tried that work for me and pass that along, and maybe that's something that you could use or not use. I know for me, like I said, I use a lot of sacral chakra energy. So Saturday it was raining, perfect. Again, cleansing and water combined. And I thought, you know, it's getting late in September. Like I said, I live in Canada, and well, here today in Nova Scotia, it's not too bad. It's actually a really nice fall day. But Saturday was raining, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna go down and jump in the lake. I really think I need like a boost and refreshing day. And you know, swimming in a lake in Nova Scotia in September, I think that's pretty brave because I don't like the cold. But it was great. It was a little cooler than I thought, but I was out there for a bit, and it felt really great. And afterwards, you kind of get that cleansing in your sacral chakra. Now, what I'll do to balance is, while I'm out there, like I will actually do like a little visualization where I'm like actually picturing like any negative kind of going and just keeping in the positive. I find that really helps. And you know, every person, I have to say this, every person that I've ever looked at is always working on something. You're always coming in and out of balance. There is not a human being on the planet that is completely balanced at all times. It's like it's like an ebb and a flow, I guess is what I want to say. There's things that we're working on, things that we're learning, you know, energy that we're using. Again, when we use energy, we need to replenish it. And you know, so there isn't a human being that's not working on something. So, you know, I want to say, get in tune with yourself. Find out what works for you. Like I said, I'll tell you what I find works for me and what I feel good with. But you have to go with what resonates with you. Because if you're like a rock person, I mean, go with the crystals. Crystals have an amazing energy. And as we go along and we get more information, I will, once I get the basics out there, or I think I've covered the basics, I'll start getting into some of the other stuff. But for me, I want to say music on the sacral chakra and water. Those are my two big ones. I do have crystals, but I tend to rely on more like the earthy things first for me. And music is essential. So I hope that helps. But start with what feels right and resonates with you. Okay. My last question is actually a friend of mine is going to have a baby. And she's wondering because and again, that energy is really activated, and she's been finding she's been going up and down. Now, when we're pregnant, we're not just looking at our own sacral chakra energy, we have a life within us. So kind of like, how can she make sure that she stays healthy and balanced in that area? Well, I tell you, your body has this amazing ability. A lot of pregnant women, most pregnant women find that you get this surge of sacral chakra energy, but it's a feel-good energy. And so I don't think there's a lot other than, say, maybe Reiki or visualization that I would try pregnant. Because, again, you're dealing with another life, and you don't really want to get into aromatherapy pregnant, or, you know, try anything too radical, or jump in the lake at 9 months pregnant. Well, you know, use your discretion. But I would say the biggest thing you can do is like a meditation. Be calm, be centered. And again, like Reiki is probably a great one when you're pregnant, and then probably be feeling really good, you know, long about the time you go a little further in your pregnancy. You know, I always use common sense, but I would say Reiki or maybe crystal healing, and especially if you go through labor, I would say crystal healing, get some root chakra energy stuff going on in there, anything of that nature. But kind of stay away from anything like aromatherapy and whatnot, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to use any of that when you are pregnant. So I guess lastly, I really wanted to go back over that passion thing, okay? And it's not just because of the sacral chakra, it's because I really noticed in life, this is the kind of thing that keeps people going. So I just kind of wanted to leave on that note of saying something about our passion in life. If you know me, a lot of times you'll hear me talking about passion and how important it is. It's, to me, we have our soul and our heart chakra, but our passion, like our heart guides us and tells us, but our passion is like that fire that ignites it. And I feel a lot of that passion and creativity comes from our sacral chakra. And I really truly believe we are here co-creating. So when we talk about manifesting, that's the root chakra. And we talk about the passion and the creativity, that comes from the sacral chakra. And I cannot stress, I guess I'm going to say the importance enough of spending some time, I would say, meditating in this energy. And going back to that place where you felt that passion. I see so many people, and there is a lot of pain in this world, no doubt, but I see so many people like passing over their passion in life because they're not ever said go to it. Like, go for it. Like, do it. Like, if you feel it, do it. That's not typically, what we hear everyone say. If you feel it, do it. And, again, use discretion, but like your passion, your path, your purpose. I would say go into that sort of meditative state or prayer or however you want to say it, whatever resonates with you. And I would say find that passionate spot in yourself and bring that out to the world, because the world needs more passion in it. It needs more happiness and joy. And when we express, when we bring that forward, it's sort of like, I guess I want to say, a safe place to inspire others and for them to bring that forward. I really can't say enough about, being authentic and creating. I think we are meant to wake up every day of our lives and say, okay, what do I get to do today? And I know not every day of our lives feels like that, but if we can just do it for like 5 minutes, if we can spare 5 minutes to say, what do I get to do today? How do I get to nurture that inner child? And what is it I get to do? I just think that we would be raising our vibration hugely, which again contributes to the overall consciousness of this planet and the overall healing of this planet. Remember, sacral chakra people and our sacral chakras, a lot of healing occurs. So when we are giving and going with that feeling of passion and joy, not only are we healing things within ourselves, but we're healing this world. So I can't say enough about the passion area of the body and the sacral chakra. It's one of my personal favorites. And to me, there's a lot of information that I covered here today. So again, I want to say, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them and go into them. Please email me at chakrareader23@gmail.ca, I believe it is. Or, I want to say you can Facebook me. I'm on Twitter. However you want to reach me, that would be great. I think you could reach me in any one of those ways. Just inbox me your questions. I would be so thrilled to address them. I hope that I helped you understand the sacral chakra a little better. I hope that you can tomorrow get up and go, okay, I'm going into my passion. Here we go. And I hope that you just give to that flow and let that energy flow through you. The sacral chakra energy to me is of course it's really exciting, but is one of the best things that we can give to the world from ourselves, in the sense that it is such a healing energy, and not only for ourselves but for those around us. So when we're in that space of healing and passion, it is a joy to be around and is a joy to express. So happy sacral chakra, and I will see you the next time for the solar plexus. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.